Oh yes, it is board game time again. I have just been going crazy with buying the board games that I want. As soon as they become available, I'm just going for it because I can't wait. I can't risk it that they are not going to be in stock again. So let's snap open Evolution, or maybe I should read it first. Okay, Evolution by Dominic Krapuchitz. Pushitz? No, I don't know. Dmitry Nor Sergei Mashin. Once again, I'm sorry, you're not here to see me butcher names. Maybe you are here to see me butcher names. That would be a great new thing. Published by North Star Games. I am so in love with the art. It's very like watercolor and pastel, but at the same time, it's so bright and just rich. It is so incredibly rich, which is why I am so incredibly excited about this game. And on each corner you've got a different character, and I believe these are all the characters that you can play with as the boards, so that is awesome. Evolution, the dynamic game of survival. In a dynamic ecosystem where food is scarce and predators lurk, your species will have to adapt to survive. Traits like hard shell and horns will protect your species from carnivores, while a long neck will help them get food that others cannot reach. With over 12,000 ways to evolve your species, every game becomes a different adventure, so gather your friends and see who best adapts to their changing world around them. So ages 12 plus, players 2 to 6, playtime 60 minutes, contents 1 watering hole board, 144 food tokens, 12 10 value food tokens, 20 species boards, 40 wooden markers, 129 trait cards, 2 player aids, 6 food screens, 1 dino starter token, and 1 rulebook. I've heard about the dino starter token and I really want to see it. But I mean, just looking at this, like, this is appealing to me. The box is appealing, the ideas are appealing. My mom looked at it and she went, Pokemon. I was like, well, yeah, but no. So my mom just thinks all the stuff I get are Pokemon related, I think. She's not exactly wrong, but I mean, she's not exactly right either. I want to cut. Oh, this plastic is coming off easily. Okay, I think they'll be fine. Ooh, it's textured. Oh, no, wait, we need some more help at the top. It's a nice texture to the board game. It's that one. It's that noise one. Oh, I don't want anything to fall out. Oh, no, this box feels really nice. It's like smooth, but also grainy. It's like crisscross, like, oh, I love it. Okay, here we go. What do we have here? Oh, it's coming. Eee! Very, very nice. Very nice. Okay, so the rules of evolution. Don't like reading rules? Watch the how to play video instead. Oh my gosh. Free trial for the evolution video game. Ooh. Okay, no one gets that. I'm gonna use it way before anyone sees that, so that's fine. Oh, what a lovely, no, this is nice. I'm going to look at that later. Okay, so we've got the rules. Then we've got a brochure for North Games and what they do. Yeah, there are so many expansions. There's the flight, the climate, and the beginning ones. And I'm just like, you know, dude, that is so much. What else did they do? Oh, the Quacks of Quedlinburg. I've heard of that. That's apparently really good. Most Wanted. I'm not really interested in any of the others, but that's very, very cool. Okay, so scientific names. Choose the 2 most important traits of your beloved species. Pick a genus and a species from these traits, and voila, you have named your species. So if I want one that is fertile and does foraging, then pick a genus and a species. Then I can go maybe Regio lepusculus or Fecundo aquilix. Oh gosh, that's just going to be bad for me. Okay, so those are all of the options that you have. Defensive traits, eating traits, carnivore traits, and other traits. That is very cool. Player aid. What is that? Deal card? Oh, deal cards. Place a species board in front of any player without one. Deal 3 cards to each player, plus 1 card for each species that player has. Select food. Each player selects 1 food from their hand and places it face down at the watering hole. Play cards. Discard a card to get a new species. Discard a card to increase a species' body size or population by 1. Play a face down card as a trait on a species. Reveal all of the face down traits after everyone has played their cards. Then reveal food cards. Activate cards with this icon. Reveal the food cards on the watering hole and place that much food, plant food into the watering hole. Feeding. When it's your turn, you must feed one of your hungry species. Take 1 plant food or attack 1 species with carnivore. Continue until all species are fed or there is no more food. Reduce each species population to the amount of food eaten. Place all food eaten into your bag. Okay, well this is going to be very interesting. I've only briefly watched, oh, this is gorgeous, briefly watched one like how to play video, so I'm not 100% au fait with this game as yet, but this art. The watering hole, there's such wonderful illustrations. But I mean, like, this watering hole is absolutely amazing. The detail and just the overall prettiness is, no, that's absolutely lovely. Okay, so here are obviously the food tokens. I wonder if these foods have got different, like, values. Like, here are lily pads. Like, I'm sure not everything eats lily pads. And those are 10s. Ooh, there we go. There's stuff on the other side. There, okay, aquatic leg has that. Okay, where's the lily pad? That one is a lily pad. That is a, I don't know, it's a purple thing. I don't know. So we've got all of these beautiful food tokens. And then on the flip side are, like, I'm guessing what kind of species parts eat them. So you can, I don't know. I'm going to have to see. That looks like a deer. That looks like some sort of reptile. That looks like a bird. That looks like a lizard. Ooh, this is very interesting, very interesting. Okay, so we've got another one. I'm sure it's exactly the same. Yeah, 2 and 3. So we've got 3 food boards. Lovely. We've got a baggie. Thank you for giving us a baggie. Okay, I'm going to start with these. So these are your population and size boards. Yes. So you're going to put the marker in for the amount of population you have and for your body size. So the bigger you get, obviously the more difficult carnivores are going to be able to take you down, sort of thing. Unless you are a carnivore, in which case... Okay, so these are the boards that hide your food. Oh, so these are all herbivores. So it's like, those are herbivores, and that is definitely an attack croc. So we've got on the one side this wonderful creature that looks like it's come from prehistoric times, like a saber-toothed tiger and a Tasmanian wolf type thing. And then we've got a crocodile splashing on the other side. And then for everyone else, we've got this wonderful calm, serene, picturesque savannah. And then we've got these golden monkeys. We have got this long-nosed funny thing with little things on its back. We have got this wonderful blue and red lizard. We've got a very disgruntled looking tortoise. I'm recording, thank you. And we've got a family of these wonderful blue shelled things. And this little baby here is just the cutest thing I've ever seen. I love it. Right, so... those are what we have. Now, here is this player token. Mine is a little bit scuffed. Like, the edges are not 100%. It looks like it's been used, shall we say. Looks like it's been used, but look at the dino token. And you pop that down, and then that's the first player token. And I think it's just absolutely adorable. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so cute. Okay, so here we've got the wooden blocks for the population and body size boards, obviously in green for population and brown for body size, and these feel very nice, or they feel a lot lighter than I was expecting. A lot lighter than I was expecting. Oh well. Light does not... Ooh, there it goes. Light does not equal bad. I just shake everything as I go around. Okay, and then here are these playing cards. So these cards are pretty much the way to get things done. I'm just looking at this board because it's got all of the various artwork on the side. Very, very cool. And it's got this nice insert in it to keep everything nice and dandy. Very nice, very nice. Right, so let me open these and we can take a whack at these cards then. Because obviously these trait cards are the way you will be able to make your animals, your new species. Let me just take the second one out as well. There it is. One day I will get this right, but that day is not today. It's definitely not today. I've really messed that one up. Oh my gosh. Okay, can I just get my finger in there maybe? Help. Help! Ugh. Oh, my biggest weakness, my biggest flaw. Right, so we've got some very interesting cards here, and I think based on this player aid thing, okay, so the red are carnivore traits, the green are eating traits, the grey is defensive, and the gold are just sort of general other traits. So what we have here first of all is ambush. So ambush, this species ignores warning call when attacking, and it's got a -3 that obviously means something that I'm not aware of yet. Then we've got carnivore. This species attacks and eats other species that are smaller in body size. It can never take plant food, and it's got a 2. But I mean, this art is just like amazing. Then we've got cooperation, which is green, so it's an eating trait. When this species takes food, your species to the right takes 1 food from the same source, and it's got a 4. So that's obviously going to be very helpful for the herbivores, or I guess the omnivores. I don't know. Are there omnivores in this game? Anyway, this is fat tissue, and this has got that play icon thing, and it's got a 4. This species may store food on this card up to its body size. Before the food cards are revealed, move the stored food to the species board. And then the last one, fertile. This is another one of those flip play cards. This species gains 1 population if there is food on the watering hole before the food cards are revealed. Very interesting. It's very interesting. I am not sure what all of this means yet, but I am going to have fun playing it. I wonder if these are the only ones you can get. I thought that there was a bit more. I mean, if you've got so many options, no, look, that's a lot of ambushing. Okay, so then let's just go through them all. Then we've got burrowing. This species can only be attacked if it is hungry, and it's got a 1, so this is a defensive trait. Then, okay, we've seen carnivore. Oh, there's a lot of carnivore. I'm guessing everyone just eventually becomes a carnivore, right? Then we've got climbing, which seems to be a carnivore and a defensive trait. This species can only be attacked by a carnivore with climbing. Okay. That's interesting. We've got cooperation again. Defensive herding. This species can only be attacked by a carnivore with a larger population. Okay. And then we've got fat tissue, and then the fertile. Let's put these back in order. I don't know if it's meant to go in order, but that's okay. Oh, then we've got foraging. This species increases the amount of food it receives by 1 anytime it takes plant food. So it is a forager. Very nice. Hard shell. This species gets a +4 body size when determining if it can be attacked. Oh, wow. So you have to be so much, like, at a higher level to be able to take down a hard shell. Wow. Okay, so then we've got horns. Before receiving meat food, a carnivore loses one population if it attacks the species. Horns do some damage. Oh, intelligence. You may discard cards from your hand during your feeding turn too. If you're a carnivore, ignore a defensive trait for this species' next attack, or non-carnivore, take 2 food from the food bank. That's going to be very interesting. Then we've got long neck. This species takes 1 plant food from the food bank before the food cards are revealed. Very interesting. Pack hunting. Oh, look at the little things. This species adds its population to its body size when determining if it can attack another species. Just because there's so much more, they take down the animals. Scavenger. This species takes 1 meat food from the food bank after any carnivore attacks. Very nice. Symbiosis. This species cannot be attacked if your species to the right has a larger body size than this species. So it's the big protecting the small. And then I think this is the last one. Warning call. Your species to the right and left of this species can only be attacked by a carnivore with ambush. Did I read ambush? Yes, I did read ambush. Oh my goodness. So, and then that is pretty much it. So you've got these trait cards, and you are going to build your own species, and you're obviously going to potentially have more than 1. I think you can have up to 6 if this thing to my side is to be believed. That is very cool. So only 2 player aids instead of like the up to 6 for the 6-player game. But that's all right. Let's do some reading now to see how it goes. Our planet is teeming with life. There are over 8 million unique animal species on Earth. Darwin suggests this incredible biodiversity shares a common ancestry. Animals better adapted to their environment are more likely to survive and pass on traits to their offspring. Over millions of generations, this iterative process of natural selection leads to the astonishing variety of life we find on our planet. Welcome to evolution. So, setup. Place the watering hole on the table. Place the food tokens aside. This is the food bank. Give each player 1 food screen, which is the hidey hole, the hidey. Shuffle the deck of trait cards and place it face down on the table. This is the draw deck. Randomly determine the first player. Give them the first player marker. Woo! This looks very cool, very cool. Goal. The goal of evolution is to thrive in the midst of an ever-changing ecosystem where food is scarce and predators lurk. You'll get points for feeding your species, increasing their population, and evolving them to best ensure their survival. At the end of the game, players get points for the food their species has eaten during the game, the population of the surviving species, and the trait cards of the surviving species. I'm guessing the -3 might have something to do with that. Oh no, that's the food selection phase. Never mind. A game of evolution usually takes 5 to 7 rounds. There are 5 phases in each round. Okay, so deal cards. Place a species board in front of any player who does not have one. If this is the first round of the game, then every player will get a species board. Put a green wooden marker on the 1 space of the population and a brown on the 1 of the body size track. Deal each player 3 cards, plus 1 card for each species board they have in front of them. So if I had 2 species, I'll get an extra 2. If the draw deck runs out, or if it ran out when a species went extinct on the previous round, this will be the final round of the game. Oh no! Shuffle the discard pile into a new draw deck. Phase 2. Select food. The number at the bottom right of each trait card represents an amount of plant food. Each player secretly chooses 1 trait card from their hand and puts it face down on the watering hole. These are the food cards that will be revealed during the feeding phase to determine how much plant food will be available for the round. Then play cards. Starting with the first player and moving clockwise around the table, a player may play as many or as few trait cards as they want. There is no limit to the number of cards a player can save in their hand for a later time. Play will go 1 time round the table, which means every player will only get one turn during this phase. There are 3 possible things a player can do with each trait card. They may be done in any order and multiple times each. Player trait. A player may play a trait card face down above one of their spaces. A species may not have any duplicate trait cards and may not have more than 3. Then you can create a new species. A player may discard a trait card face up into the discard pile to get a new species. They take a new species board and put the tokens on. The new species must be placed either to the right or the left of the existing species, and it may not be placed between existing species. And then 3, you can increase the body size or population. By discarding a trait card face up, you can move it up by 1. A species cannot move its wooden marker beyond 6, but a species can effectively have a larger body size with a trait like hard shell. A player may remove a trait card from any of their species anytime during their play card's turn and place it face up in the discard pile. This may be done to make room for another trait or because the trait is no longer advantageous to the species. Players do not get any other benefit. When everyone has had a chance to play cards, flip all of the newly played trait cards face up, so then everyone's secrets are out. Then you can reveal food. Check around the table for any trait cards that have this icon, the flippy I go first card. These cards have effects that might trigger before the food cards are revealed. If a player has more than one of these cards in play, they choose the order in which their traits activate. The first player reveals the food cards on the watering hole, adds up the food numbers on these cards, and places that much food from the food bank into the watering hole. If the total on the food cards is a negative number and there is plant food on the watering hole, remove that much food. Then the revealed food cards are played face up on the discard pile. Then we feed. In this phase, players will take turns feeding one species at a time in a rush to eat from a limited supply of food. Play will move clockwise around the table until every species is done feeding, all hungry species cannot eat. This means a player might get several feeding turns during the feeding phase, but it also means that a player might not get a single feeding turn if food is scarce. Beginning with the first player and continuing clockwise, each player must feed one of their species. A player may pass only if none of their species are hungry, or if it is not possible to feed any of their hungry species. Passing on a feeding turn does not prohibit a player from feeding on a future feeding, blah blah blah. When a species takes food, place the food in the space above the population track starting with a 1. A species may never take more food than the population has unless it has fat tissue. Feeding non-carnivores. Take one plant food from the watering hole and place it onto the species board of the species you are feeding. Some traits like foraging and cooperation modify this. Feeding carnivores. A species with a carnivore trait is can never take plant food, not even with the help of traits like long neck or cooperation. They feed by attacking other species. A player may attack any species, including their own. Carnivores continue to attack even if the watering hole runs out of plant food. Oh lord. A carnivore can attack another species only if all of the following are true. The carnivore is hungry, the body size is greater of their body size, and the carnivore has the necessary traits to overcome the attacked species' defensive traits. After a carnivore has attacked another species, reduce the population of the attack by 1. If this reduces the population to below the amount of food already eaten, place the excess food behind the attacked player's food screen. Oh, so you get it. Nice. Take meat food from the food bank equal to the attacked species' body size and place it on the attacking carnivore species board. Important feeding rules. A species must eat if it is hungry and there is food available. This means a carnivore must eat a species with horns if it is the only legal target, even if it is that player's own species. Oh dear. When a species eats from the watering hole, it takes 1 plant food unless a trait modifies it. When a carnivore attacks, that's fine, we've done that. Non-carnivores normally eat plant food, but they can also eat meat food with traits such as scavenger or cooperation. But a carnivore can never take plant food. End of feeding. Feeding ends when all species are unable to eat or when these species that have a choice, because of fat tissue or intelligence, choose not to eat. If a species does not eat food equal to its population, all hungry population from that species are lost. Oh no. Players remove the food from the species board and place it behind their food screen. Any plant food remaining on the watering hole stays there for the next round. The game ends if the draw deck runs out during the deal cards phase, or if the draw deck has to be shuffled due to a species going extinct on the previous round. If the game does not end past the incredibly awesome first player marker to the left and begin a new round. Extinction. If the population of any species is reduced to 0, it goes extinct, and the owner does the following. Discard the trait cards and draw 1 card from the draw deck for each discarded card. Discard the species board and all of the food behind their food screen. And places the food behind their food screen. If the species that went extinct was between 2 species, close the gap. If a player loses their last species, they will receive a free one at the start of the next round. End of final game. Scoring: each food is worth 1 point, each surviving species is equal to its population, and each trait card on a surviving species is worth 1 point. Oh, I love this. If there is a tie, the player with the most population points is the winner. If there is still a tie, you must immediately order pizza, either a meat lover's pizza or vegetarian pizza, and play again. So it's like, after the first draw, you don't get another draw, you have to just go again. And then there's a 2-player rules and a 6-player rules and a quick play variant and an idea for table space issues. And then there is a glossary of all of the words. Then there is a look at the trait cards. I honestly was expecting more trait cards, but obviously you still can do a lot of combinations with all of your cards, and that is fantastic. This is absolutely lovely. I am very, very thrilled with this game. Visually, it is very cute, and I don't think it is too difficult to understand. Oh, these playing chips come out very, very nice. I wonder if I should just do a sped-up montage of me popping all of them. Maybe some people like that. But I have not yet opened this. Okay, so that is now through. Let's open this. Ooh, the plastic. There we go. Well, let me just kind of slide them out. These are nice, like sturdy things. I like this. I like the sturdiness of it. Nice size, nice shape, nice hold, nice feel. Ooh, that is very, very nice. That is nice. I like that a lot, and I think I will just do like a sort of montage of me just popping all of these things out, because that'll be great. And that's it. I'm very excited to start playing this game. I haven't played it before. I'm interested in the different combinations. I do love animals. I love going to game parks and going on game drives. And so the fact that I now have a game about creating my own species is brilliant. And if I really love the game, then maybe getting one of the expansions would be brilliant. I don't know which one though. I'm gonna have to do some research and see what happens. But I am a very happy customer. This is a beautiful, beautiful game.